Hey everyone, welcome back. So we're just continuing from that last video where we talked about promises. We're just going to go through a few more methods of promises. So if we run this, just like the last lecture, we wait about half a second and then our promise resolves and we get our new car printed out in the console. So I mentioned before that you have to have resolve and reject in this order inside this function. Well, you actually don't need both of these arguments. You can get rid of the reject and then only handle the resolve. So we can get rid of this reject here as well. Perfect, and we have enough money, so this will resolve, hit run, and our promise still resolves like before. The only problem with this is now you're not handling the rejected case, so you won't get any information. If, for example, you don't have enough money and you're trying to buy a car and you're waiting and you get nothing returned, so you don't really know what to do with that. So it's always a good idea to have that rejected there, so you can pass back more information to the user. So anyway, let's go ahead and bring back that code that we have there. So we have that resolve and that reject. Perfect. So another thing you can also do with promises is handle multiple promises at once. So for example, if you want to buy multiple cars, but you want to wait until all the cars are bought before bringing them home, for example. So let's get rid of this here for now, actually. And let's go ahead and create an array. So let's put some space here. Another variable, we'll call it buy multiple cars. We're going to buy multiple cars. Set that equal to an array. And inside here is what we'll have multiple promises. So we're going to buy a car, another car, and let's just go ahead and buy 4 cars. It seems like enough cars. And then let's go ahead and actually log this out. So console.log buy multiple cars just to see what that is. Right, hit run, and we just get these 4 promises here. So they're unresolved, so we want to go ahead and resolve all these promises. And to do that, we use the Promise.all method. So let's actually go ahead and get rid of that console log just to make it a bit cleaner. So we'll store that in a new variable. We'll just call it my cars. So it'll be buy multiple cars. We're going to Promise.all, and we're going to pass it our array of promises. So Promise.all will resolve all of these promises, and then it will return a single promise which we can then resolve. So if we run this right now and we wait, nothing will happen because we have to go ahead and handle those resolved promises. So just like before, we do a dot then and also a dot catch to handle any rejected cases. So just to reiterate, we have a bunch of promises in this array and we want to resolve or reject them, in which case the data returned will be from the first promise that gets rejected. So anyway, in this case though, all of the promises will resolve because we have enough money, and the Promise.all returns a new promise once all these have resolved. And then we can call dot then and dot catch just like we did before. So let's go ahead and do that now. So dot then, oops, let me write that out properly. So dot then, and we make some more space here. So it's just like this here. We actually go ahead and copy this if we want to, but I'm going to write it out, and you should write it out too just for practice. So when you're learning, it's always better to write it out rather than copy and paste, just because you learn it better that way. So this gets passed a function, and we get that data back from the promise. And then let's actually just go ahead and console.log that data. Oops, that data. And then we can handle the rejected case as well. Get past a function, pass in the error. Then we'll just console.log the error. Alright, so that looks good right there. We'll hit run and see what happens. And we get all of our cars returned. So each promise takes about half a second. So we wait for that, all of the cars here, all the promises here to resolve. Then when that happens, then we go ahead and log it. So we wait for all of them to resolve first. And there is also another similar method available to us called .race rather than .all. And this is essentially the same thing as .all, except this method returns a promise that resolves or rejects as soon as one of the promises in our array resolves or rejects. So if you do .race, It'll run all these promises, and the first one to resolve will get passed through and logged to us. So let's hit run, and boom, that first one gets returned to us. Awesome. So that's about it for promises. And remember, you can always find out more by going to the Mozilla Developer Network and reading through the docs. So if we go here, there's a whole lot of information here. You can read more about what we just talked about. There's Promise.all, .race, reject, resolve, a whole bunch of information and examples as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.